everybody. Welcome to Network Connection. My name is Roni. Today is joining me Gerry Warner. He's an Aflac insurance guy. Hi, Gerry. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excellent. All right. So let's dive right in. So, Gerry, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
So I provide supplemental insurance. Supplemental insurance, typically, I would say in most cases or for most people, you either get your insurance individually or you get it through your employer. Getting insurance individually is incredibly expensive, unless you're really making pretty much above 75K, maybe even more. You probably have an insurance that has a relatively high deductible, and that's where supplemental insurance comes in. The reason it is that way is simply because insurance companies can no longer deny individuals coverage. And because of that, the prices have gone up on premiums. So, and again, this is because of Obamacare. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent, but because of Obamacare, it's much more inexpensive to get insurance through your employer. So where Aflac comes in is we provide an inexpensive option to cover those high deductibles. Maybe your employees don't have insurance. Maybe the individual has $5,000, $4,000, $8,000 deductible, but they only make $45,000 a year. If somebody's going through some sort of health event or health accident or illness, even COVID-19, saying maybe you can't work for a couple weeks. We have a short-term disability option. That is where Aflac comes in. They cover your expenses. They don't coordinate with major medical. They pay you directly, so that way you can either cover your bills or cover your cost of living while you're not working. And they're going to be there even if your major medical does cover it. Again, it's a very inexpensive option. It's cafeteria plans. The average plan, like our accident plan, costs relatively around $12 to $13 a week. Most people, after a business does sign up free of cost, the employees then sign up typically for 2 or 3 plans a week, depending on what kind of coverage they have and what kind of other benefits their company offers. And it only rounds out to be between, depending on the levels and all that stuff, $90 to $150 a month, which is incredibly cheap, especially when your employer, I'm talking to all the small businesses out there, doesn't have to pay anything towards it, right? Like I had insurance in my previous career, and I had a $5,000 deductible on an HMO group. My company was paying half of my premium per month. I was still paying $160 a month. But if something major were to happen, I wasn't going to be covered. And something that actually did end up happening after I did leave that career. So I'm still paying for it today because I had holes in my coverage. This is a good way for small businesses to compete with the job force, to go out there and get good employees and have something that they can give them that's really going to benefit those employees.
Absolutely. So I'm going to ask you another question. So would you say that getting a supplemental insurance is an absolute must for a individual or small business, or is it something like, are the holes are that big in the coverage that you buy that you need to have that supplemental?
So you're dealing with a couple things right now, right? Like there's a lot of people right now who don't have jobs. And ultimately they're going to go and look for a job that's going to be able to offer them the most. In the same token, a lot of small businesses are struggling. Our target market, and I'm not saying we don't deal with large companies. My boss, his biggest account is a 66,000 employee account. So we deal with big companies, but our target market really is that 3 employees, bare minimum, to 100. That's our target market. And those businesses right now are struggling. They're not only struggling from a business standpoint, but they're struggling from the business pool. And a way for them to compete is to offer benefits. Again, typically businesses provide some sort of financial relief in their benefits, whether they pay half or they pay full. That's costly, right? You want to help your employees. You want to be competitive in the job market, but you also want to be able to keep costs down. So Aflac is free. Aflac is free for small businesses. Aflac is free for any business. No business has to contribute to a group policy in order to get employees to sign on. And it's so inexpensive in general when you look at the grand scheme of things, and so beneficial and valuable that employees typically do sign up because they're paying $12 a week, or however you want to put it, $48 a month for a policy that if they go through a major medical event and they're going to be out of work, they're going to be covered. And then
Nice.
That's incredibly beneficial to a small business that's competing in the job market right now.
Absolutely. All right. So tell us, do you have like a favorite customer service story? Somebody you really helped, change their life?
So this wasn't actually, I'm relatively new to the industry. In my previous life, I've been in the bar and restaurant industry for a very, very long time. I was a general manager at a brewery. I was working 60, 70 hours a week. I needed some work-life balance. I couldn't justify how many hours a week I was working for how much money I was making, which is why I made the switch. One of the people I came across and as I was beginning, and this was actually, through my girlfriend, through social, just being social in general on the weekend. My girlfriend's friend is a cop. She trains her dog. She broke her arm off the job, right? So if you break your arm or, hurt yourself on the job, it's workman's comp. If you hurt yourself or you're sick, or you get into a car accident, and you can't work, right? You don't even have the income to help pay your bills. That could be a huge problem. So luckily, again, she was a police officer. She had Aflac through the municipality that she worked for, and she had short-term disability, and she had accident coverage. So she had actually broken her arm in a car accident, and she couldn't work for a month, right? Because being a cop, that's a very physical job.
You need your arms. You need your hand to write stuff, right? Write tickets.
Bare minimum, right? Bare minimum, you need your hand to write stuff. But you're driving, you're running after people, like, excuse me. It's really important that if you can't work for whatever reason, something has to pay the bills. So she was super lucky to have come across the Aflac, and it got her through that tough time.
Nice.
And on a second story, I wish I had Aflac. I went through something, again, as I was changing careers and I was just beginning with Aflac. I wish I had Aflac coverage already because I was bitten by a dog, and my insurance for where my deductible was did not cover a single dime.
Yep.
And I'm still paying for it today. And if I had Aflac, it would have been much easier. So I'll just put it to you like that. So it's two sides to a different coin. And I'm not saying Aflac is 100% for everyone. That's not always the case. But one of the reasons that I chose to work for Aflac is they're one of the top 10 most ethical companies, best places to work.
Nice.
So, and they've been the only insurance company for, I think it was 13 years in a row.
So Gerry, I have a question. So let's say I'm a business owner. I have my employees. I subsidize, some of their insurance costs, and I want to come to you for an assessment of the gaps or assessment of our policy. Are you able to do that for us?
Absolutely. We're benefits specialists, and we also work with a lot of different brokers who offer a multitude of things, and we partner with brokers in some of the larger companies that want to offer more than just Aflac. They want to offer both. They want to combine it. They want to give their employees as many options. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, everything sounds amazing. This kind of concludes our interview for today. Will you please tell us how we can reach you?
You can email me at Gerard, Gerard _Warner, WARNER, at us.aflac.com. And you can also call or text me on my number. My phone line's 585-478-6647.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. It was such a nice conversation. Thank you, everybody, for watching.